Yes.
Hi everyone, this is Didi.
And I am Fred. And this is our 36-foot floating home sunshine.
Join us as we go sailing.
Hello everybody. It's Wednesday afternoon, about 4 p.m. Still operating on India Standard Time, which is 5.5 hours off GMT. I'm going to switch that pretty soon to 5 hours. That's about all I can say about India. The bullshit that Didi and I had to go through for a week, sitting there in that harbor, basically under house arrest and incommunicado. They wouldn't let us communicate with anyone. No internet, no phone. Wouldn't let us go ashore. Absolutely abysmal treatment. Pretty much ignored us until finally one customs agent, after being there for 6 days, finally got off his butt and started the ball rolling for us. The problem, of course, was the fact that we didn't plan to go to India. It was strictly an emergency situation, and therefore we didn't have visas. They didn't even want to let us in the port. After speaking at length with the Coast Guard, we finally got the Indian Coast Guard guy came out in a little launch, because they had us anchored in an open roadstead on the lee shore, 7 miles south of the entrance. They would have been happy if we stayed there till we died and rotted on the boat. But this nice young Coast Guardman and his crew came out in this little boat and took a bunch of information and actually came back with a bunch of food and some diesel and some water, which helped. And later the next day, after sitting there where it's nice and calm all day, late in the afternoon, as the wind comes up, blowing 20, almost 20 from the north, and we're trying to power straight into it, we got a Coast Guard cutter is escorting us into the harbor as if we're master criminals or something. I don't know. And they put us in a designated anchorage area. Not a bad place. Just inside and off the harbor entrance channel. And immediately, quarantine came aboard, immigration came aboard, made us sign documents that we understood we were not allowed to go ashore under any circumstances, for any reason. And they left. And then everybody left. Somebody came again in the morning, I forget which one. And, taking all kinds of paperwork and names and information about the boat and us and everything else, and they left. We'll see about getting you an agent. Well, nobody did squat. The only people we could talk to was the port control people, and they said, "Look, we can't do anything for you. We're just port control." We tried getting an agent. The phone number you gave us, he said he called, and the people on the other end said there was nothing they could do to help us. Well, that's complete and utter bullshit. And we sat there day after day, slowly using up our own food and some of the food that the Coast Guard had brought out. Not able to contact anybody, by this time, we're out at sea over 3 weeks. And I had told family and friends that, 1,600-mile passage, 2 to 3 weeks. Well, we got down south after much frustration, ran into headwinds, or no wind, tried to go to Ghan at the southern end of the Maldives for 3 days. Could make no progress into 20-knot headwinds and 4 to 6 foot seas, diminishing fuel supply. So I decided, well, Cochin's 500 miles away, but with this wind, we could probably make it okay in about 4 or 5 days. Took us 6 days, plus a day waiting outside, anchored in the open roadstead, 20-knot winds and 6 foot seas. Anyway, I kept pleading with these guys. Look, I know we don't have visas. We didn't plan to come here. Look, this is an emergency. We're running out of all kinds of everything. And there we sat, day after day after day, calling port control. Any luck with getting us an agent? Any luck with getting anything at all going? We'll let you know. They're working on it. We'll let you know shortly. And I'd never hear from them again for the entire day. Oh man, just fried my shorts. I'm sure people have had wonderful times in India, but I would never go back there if you paid me, after being treated like a criminal. And they told us, they said it's because somebody else on another boat went in there, and they let him go ashore, ostensibly under some kind of emergency situation. They let him go to shore. They ran around all the bars, ran up big tabs, and then scooted out of the harbor without paying their bills. I said, oh, I see. So you're punishing me for something that someone else did. That makes a lot of sense now. Anyway, we finally got out of there yesterday. We got an agent. He brought us out diesel and food and water. We got all the officials out on the boat in a parade all day long. Here, sign this, sign that, sign this, sign that. 9 o'clock last night, into about a 15-knot headwind blowing directly in the channel. We had to power out because we had to leave no later than midnight yesterday. I think we finally actually got outside at about 11 o'clock at night, outside of the entrance channel. So last night was not a bad sail. We ran the motor for a while, and I had the trysail up to help steady the boat. And later on, I got the Yankee up, got the bow speed up, but the trysail really too small to balance the Yankee, because I need to get the boat pointing up, not hard on the wind, but up into the wind to maintain the course line that I've chosen, which is about southwest. And so I got the wild idea late last night, worked it out during the day today, and I have officially awarded myself a prize for the most creative use of a staysail on a sailboat, and that is right there. So we took the storm trysail off, and after much fussing around, I got the staysail on the hanks on slugs that fit the mast track, got the boom jacked way up, and am using the #1 reef line as a sheet for the clue of the sail. And it sits pretty well, drives the boat pretty well. We're making about 235 maybe. Desired minimum course is 225, so we're getting a little high on the course line, which is good. We're close reaching, sort of, and making 4 knots or so. Seas are fairly moderate. It's been a beautiful day. Haven't had any rain. We finally got out of the land of fishing boats, I think. So we went through quite a few of them yesterday, last night, all through the night. But those guys are pretty good. They stay out of the way. And right now, Dee Dee and I are pretty bushed because we were up all night. dodging the fish boats, making sure the boat was running okay. Still haven't resolved the problems with the raw water pump to my satisfaction, because they need a new part. And I could see I was going to get no assistance from anybody in India. They charge us an outrageous amount of money for diesel fuel. I'm going to check that price on the next port. The bill for fuel and food and water was over $1,000 US. But I had no choice. I had to pay it. And then, of course, I had the whole fiasco of how do I arrange payment? Because I can't go ashore. I can't access an ATM machine. Well, that was another fiasco. I had to use the agent's hotspot to get on the internet and put load on my phone service provider from Sri Lanka, and then use data roaming to access the internet, because I had to contact my bank and kind of let them know what was going on and to arrange finances to pay this bill. I'm telling you, folks, after the worst 3-week cruise I've ever had, we were abused for 1 week in the harbor of Cochin, southwest India. And the official had the temerity to tell me, one of them that came by yesterday morning, Indian people are really very cordial and very nice. I said, really? This is what you call being very cordial and very nice? Treating us like criminals for a week? Being held under literal house arrest and incommunicado? Didi's breaking out in tears virtually daily because you can't contact your family. Knows they're got to be worried sick about her. It's been over 3 weeks since any contact. They have no idea where we are. I'm concerned too because I got family back in the U.S. I'm going to let them know I'm okay. It was not a good experience for us. Never going back to India. Never. Anyway, so we futched around for a number of hours today, working out the using the stay sail as the mainsail, and it's longer on the luff than the trysail. Sets pretty well. I'd say once again it's somewhere between a single and double reefed mainsail. So it certainly is helping the boat move along nicely. You can see it's setting beautifully. Gets us up into the wind a bit. Got us zipping along here. Beautiful sailing conditions. And yeah, same thing. 2 to 3 weeks, depending on conditions. We're heading for the Seychelles again. Bye for now.